Guys, at long last, the day has finally come. 100 episodes. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit.
We just did this because we were bored during a global pandemic, and here we are.
Wow, that was, I was kind of expecting more of a bigger reaction, but yes, we're finally here. We're finally at the 100 episode goal. I'm Tyler Green.
I'm Catherine Kitquinner.
Yeah, nice.
I'm Rainbow fucking Randall.
Woo!
All right. And joining us today is a first-time guest, Bryant Langmuir. How are you today?
I don't know. I'm kind of fucked up in general, so it's hard to gauge.
There we go.
Beautiful. Man, I cannot believe we finally reached 100 episodes. Like, holy shit, we made it. We started this podcast as kind of a fun little thing while we were trying to get through the pandemic, and holy shit, we made it.
It just stuck with us. I can't really say the same for a lot of podcasts, but, like doing this for almost 5 years now this year, actually. Holy shit. Has been a hell of a ride, I gotta say.
Yeah, and how many global crises have we been through at this point?
Too fucking many.
And they're ongoing to this very fucking day.
This podcast will not stop until global peace is achieved. So
yay!
Okay, but anyway, positive things today.
Yay!
More specifically, the topic that we've chosen for the 100th episode. Given our history with, a certain purple motherfucker and a lot of attention that we've brought to that franchise, it's only fair that we talk about something that is a brilliant deconstruction of the hype surrounding Barney.
This past year alone, Barney has raked in over $100 million in retail sales, over $50 million in videos. He's on public TV every day.
When it came down to, choosing the 100th episode topic, it was three things. The first one was Kids for Character, which we mentioned on our very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, which, me and Kit, we both do enjoy South Park, but,
yeah,
it has its baggage. Which, that of course led me to this beautiful, beautiful fucking movie, a sleeper hit from 2002 known as Death to Smoochy.
And directed by our fucking king, Danny DeVito.
Oh, God. This is a stacked cast. First off, the late, great Robin Williams is, Rainbow Randolph, the villain of this movie.
I love it when Robin Williams gets to be a fucking villain. Like, how many times is he always penned as either, like, heroic in all of his either serious or comedic roles? How often he's placed as a protagonist? No, I love it when they just let this guy be evil.
You and I share a secret. We know how easy it is to kill somebody. That ultimate taboo, it doesn't exist outside our minds. I didn't murder her. I killed her, but it just ended up that way.
Oh, absolutely. This movie has just shown me that we missed out on Robin Williams ever getting to be a Batman villain.
Yes.
Much love to Jim Carrey, but there's part of me that wonders he might have been a better Riddler.
Yes.
Or at the very least, they could have made him a Flash villain. That way he could have been Rainbow fucking Raider.
Hell, you know what? He got to be a Disney sidekick. Why not let him be a Disney villain?
It's not just him that makes this cast so great, We also got Edward Norton. We got Jon Stewart.
Jon fucking Stewart.
Yeah, Danny DeVito directing this and starring in it, by the way.
Yeah, very common in his movies.
Which is funny because I know he played the dad in Matilda and such, and he was obviously the lead in Throw Mama from the Train, but yeah, it was great seeing him in this.
And Catherine Keener, she's in this too. If I had a nickel for every time she was in something that deconstructs a beloved child icon, I would have 2 nickels, and yeah, you know the rest by now.
And this is also pre 40-year-old virgin as well, so...
Oh yeah, she was in that. I forgot.
Yeah, she was also in one of my favorite films of all time, being John Malkovich.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's on my watch.
Yes.
I gotta watch that someday.
And she was also in one of my most hated films of all time, and that being the 2010 Percy Jackson film.
Oh, come on.
I have seen that, and I remember because I got super into the Percy Jackson books around that time. When I saw that movie, I was so fucking disappointed. Like,
I've heard good things about the Disney Plus show.
Oh yeah,
It's better than the movie, I can tell you. I was still kind of disappointed, but that's honestly a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
It's a step up compared to what it once was. And real quick, while I'm on the record, my complicated feelings about Jim Carrey aside, Kidding was a fucking great show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like in a post-defunct TV, post-Kidding, people are starting to take kid shows more seriously and start to realize the value they have era, especially in an era where they're often done dirty by the higher-ups and they try to replace them with shit like Cocomelon. I feel like Death to Smoochy would do a lot better today. Maybe not be like a massive smash hit, but it would absolutely get much more positive reviews at the least.
I'm surprised that the reviews for this were initially so negative.
I think the worst movie of the year was obviously Death to Smoochy, which provides evidence that movies about clowns are usually awful. This one is so bad, only enormously talented people could have made it because lesser filmmakers would have lacked the nerve.
I can see why, because I love the movie, but it's also a mean movie, which, to be fair, that's pretty much Danny DeVito's entire directorial career. I mean, in my opinion, Danny DeVito has only directed one bad movie, and that was Duplex.
Duplex.
I fucking hate Duplex.
I caught Duplex on Stars years back, and I don't know what the fuck to make of it. I still don't know. I don't remember a goddamn thing about it.
This movie gets mean-spirited right, in my opinion, because it's aimed at people who actually deserve it. In Duplex, they just treat Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore like absolute shit in that movie for no reason. Like, ugh.
Oh, yeah, no, it's very misdirected in that sense, but pretty much every other movie he's directed, like Throw Mama from a Train is a hilarious send-up to Hitchcock. Hoffa is a great biopic. Matilda is flat out the best Roald Dahl adaptation ever. And The War of the Roses is one of my favorite films of all time. I highly recommend everyone go check that out.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
And, given Danny DeVito's, directorial career, it makes perfect sense that he went on to be Frank Reynolds.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is basically in kin with It's Always Sunny. Like, it stars an asshole who basically gets everything handed to him because of his behavior, and you love to see it.
Yep. What I want to say real quick about mean-spirited humor, I feel like the only way it's funny is when you see the consequences of the mean-spiritedness.
Oh, absolutely.
When you see them face the consequences of their shitty behavior, that's when it's funny.
Oh,
absolutely.
Or when it's like, they're doing something we've all kind of thought about doing at least once.
The thing that I love so much about this movie is that, Rainbow Randolph fucks around and finds out a lot in this movie.
Yes.
And to see him fall on his ass over and over again in what I can honestly argue are kind of Looney Tune-ish kind of ways, it's fucking excellent. It's just a testament to how great of an actor Robin Williams was, because he's having the time of his life playing a fucking piece of shit. And I'm having the time of my life watching him be a piece of shit.
Yeah, this was the same year he did 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia as well. So
yeah, this was a kind of like a sleeper hit year for Robin Williams. I remember 1 Hour Photo also being pretty good. I got to rewatch that soon.
Absolutely. Like, as much as I love Robin's heartwarming roles, I fucking love his insane roles even more. Like Genie, 1 Hour Photo, this. I fucking love him in
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Fisher King. Yes.
Fisher King is so good.
World's Greatest Dad is darkly hilarious, but it is so underrated. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I have never seen it. I need to see it.
Oh my
it's so
god.
Good.
It is another movie about Robin Williams basically kind of being a piece of shit, and I love it.
The best movies are when he's insane and when he's gay. Also watch The Birdcage. It's awesome.
Yes.
Anyway. And also, another noteworthy thing about this movie is that it's written by Adam Resnick, who also wrote the very underrated Cabin Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to buy a monkey?
Would you like to buy a monkey?
The only thing I remember from Cabin Boy is the giant talking cupcake voiced by Jim Cummings.
Yes, that cupcake is a fucking comic masterpiece.
I know what you're thinking. What could be stranger than a big, fat-ass floating cupcake? Hey, how about one that spits tobacco? See you around, buddy. That's a cute kid.
Oh, God. Chris Elliott in general is just a fucking underrated comedian. I have an episode of Get a Life that I want to talk about someday.
Absolutely. We also got to talk about the other star in the movie, Edward Norton. And this was actually the same year he was in 25th Hour by Spike Lee. This had been just a few years after Fight Club. So he was also really coming into his all around this time. And then a few years later, he'd be the first Hulk in the MCU.
Edward Norton could play Bruce Banner, but Mark Ruffalo could never pull off Smoochy.
You're right.
Changed my mind.
It's funny that Smoochy's supposed to be a Barney parody because I'd actually fuck with Smoochy. He's much more of a Mr. Rogers type than anything.
I agree with that. And actually, and the thing is, the whole anti-Barney backlash, when you really get down to it, was like a lot of it was really misdirected. But you can understand where people were somewhat coming from. Like Barney, when you get down to it, is very harmless. But the problem with Barney is that because of, how that mask was set up, you could tell kids about, teach them to brush their teeth and look both ways before crossing the street or eating their vegetables. But he could never talk about serious subjects like, oh, what do you do when you get mad? Or, oh, my stepdad's being difficult. And what Smoochy brings to the table is the fact that Sheldon's face is completely shown, is that he can show a wide variety of expressions and give that sort of Mr. Rogers type, warmth to him.
Absolutely.
There's also another thing I've noticed that contributed to a lot of the Barney backlash. You could not get away from that fucker in the 90s and the 2000s. And I've noticed that kids media that seems to get the biggest backlash is the kind that you just can't fucking get away from. Frozen, Barney, Cocomelon, Caillou, even Bluey is getting made fun of a little bit.
Not deservedly.
Un-fucking deserved.
I barely even watched Bluey, and even I'm offended by that.
Yeah. I mean, I do love a good Bluey joke here and there, but well, with Bluey, I feel like Bluey's different because it's like, yeah, you can't get away from it, but do you really want to? Because it's so fucking cute and heartwarming.
Remember, I'll always be here for you, even if you can't see me, because I love you.
It's too cute! It's disgusting!
Whereas, other shit like Barney, let's sing the fucking boppity bop song again.
Barney
2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, that's basically how people saw it.
My favorite Bluey meme that I've seen is the one that I've shown you guys where Bluey is like drinking Monster, she's playing the Xbox, and then Bingo's in the corner. Bluey, it's my turn to play the Xbox.
I fucking love the meme of Bluey and Bingo in the back rooms. Like,
I just love any of them that like turn Brian Griffin into Bluey's color palette.
This episode of Bluey is called Insert Demonic Screech here.
One more note before we begin. I also fucking love the idea of just Barney in a drug clinic and just be like, have you tried getting clean?
My stepdad isn't bad, he's just adjusting.
It's a rocket ship.
We'll get you off that smacko. Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
A little bit of a liquid alfalfa in this will really spike it up.
We gotta warn everybody in advance that most of this episode is gonna be us just quoting the movie. It's that good.
I had a hard time coming up with notes for this movie because the bulk of them were, I fucking love this movie. I fucking love this movie. Hey, did I mention that I fucking love this movie?
So they get right into it as we begin. Like, we literally see Smoochy, well, we think it's Smoochy, getting shot in the opening.
Spoilers, wink, wink.
I just wanted Edward Norton's voice to come on there and say, yep, that's not me. I bet you're wondering how I didn't get into this situation.
It's like that episode of American Dad where we thought Steve died, but it turned out it was his clone.
Since you mentioned Steve, I do want to say this, about Edward Norton's performance as Sheldon. I don't know if this was intentional, but the vibe I was getting from his performance was very Steve Burns coded.
I can see it, yeah.
If that makes sense, just kind of this laid-back guy hosting a children's show and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he's kind of got that very charming bit of awkwardness to him, which I really like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Edward Norton plays off that awkwardness so well, I think. And we should mention, too, that originally, for the casting for this movie, Robin Williams and Edward Norton's roles were going to be switched. So that Robin Williams was going to be Smoochy, but Edward Norton was going to be Rainbow Randolph. And I just want to say, I don't think that would have worked as well.
No, it would not. The way it switched is perfect.
Absolutely.
It makes more sense to have Williams be the older kids show host who's been in the business longer, has been corrupted, and then you have Edward Norton coming in as the younger, like more like wide-eyed, like optimistic one. You get the feeling that maybe at one point Randolph was like Sheldon, like early on in his career, but the system just kind of really changed him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if the casting had been switched, it probably would have been a little too similar to Fight Club in that case, so.
The first rule about Smoochy's Magic Jungle. You don't talk about Smoochy's Magic Jungle.
Let's go to Smoochy's Magic Fight Club. Also, I am so happy to learn that rhinos actually do live in the jungle, at least in Asia, because I was about to be all like, is this going to be another lion thing where no, they don't actually live in the jungle, you verisimilitude compromise. But no, they live in the jungle. So yay, rant canceled.
Thank you, Asia, for having rhinos and elephants.
Yay.
So we get a glimpse into an episode of Rainbow Randolph, and a couple observations I have here. One, the Friends Come in All Sizes song is going to be stuck in my head for weeks.
Yes.
One of the things they do get right here is that music for children's shows are very fucking repetitive and catchy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Friends come in all sizes, take it from me. Golly gee, size never matters when you want some friendly patter from a pal who is true and can lift you up when you're blue. You can count on him, he can count on you. It's true. It's true. Friends come in all sizes, friends come in all sizes, friends come in all sizes, yes, they do.
Secondly, the one thing I kind of don't agree with, but, I respect, is that they treat Rainbow Randolph and Smoochy shows as, like, sort of like these Broadway-esque types of, like, performances and stuff like that, and just...
Yeah.
I actually do respect the choreography and the set design of these respective shows, but they really put a lot of faith into how much of a budget Barney had at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I gotta say also, the cinematography in this movie is just gorgeous. Like, they capture so many great scenes with it.
Oh, yeah. Danny DeVito has a masterful way of showing off sets with, like, dark shadows. We'll see that later on in the movie, but, like clearly the parts where he excels are whenever the camera needs to, like, get really uncomfortable and, like, dark and scary. Like, that's always my favorite part.
Also, I love that Randolph is still kind of an asshole even when he's as Rainbow Randolph, when he's like...
You know what else comes in all sizes? Our Rainbow Randolph products. They're there online for you at rainbowrandolph.com. Log on. It's not free.
And it's stuff like Rainbow Randolph spaghetti and meatballs, now with real meat. And Rainbow Randolph candy cigarettes.
Oh my god.
I don't care what you say, Seymour. I can still taste the newspaper. Oh.
One thing I've noticed, and this seems to be an ongoing occurrence whenever literally anything does a parody of, like, kids shows, like live action kids shows. Why do they all think these are filmed live?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
When since, like, maybe the 60s has a kids show ever been live?
Yeah, like, not only that, there is no security on this set, and we'll get into that.
Oh, the security on this set is fucking horrible. Yeah.
Hey, there's gonna be a lot of children here. Should we maybe boost the security? No, it's fine.
So let's get into what causes Rainbow Randolph's downfall.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, the supposed setting of what is supposed to be Rainbow Randolph trying to get a kid on the show is just set up as a fucking bribe.
A bribe that he didn't even intend to fully honor. He said, I'll tell you if a spot opens up. It's like, then why'd they give you the money then?
Like, you're gonna get my kid a spot on the show, right? I love how intense it is. It's not inaccurate to how we've learned from watching things like the Jim Henson saga and what we learned about the behind the scenes of Barney. It's not that far off.
No, a lot of this was actually written in reality, and for the longest time, we actually thought it was a joke. No, it's fucking real.
Yeah. I also love the contrast of, like, going from that really, like, bright rainbow colored set to just Robin Williams, like, with the wig off, like, buzz cut, dark leather jacket in this bar. Like, it's such a great juxtaposition of, like, yeah, this is what the real world is like.
Absolutely. And I love that after he's arrested and they're reporting it on the news, the only thing the pub cares about is that they're getting mentioned. That's so accurate.
At first watching this, I kind of felt that, that Rainbow Randolph accepting a bribe, I kind of feel that the punishment doesn't really fit the crime here.
Yeah, I was wondering, were those guys supposed to be FBI? I was like, is this really an FBI matter?
Yeah, why is the FBI, so gung-ho on exposing a children's show host for bribing?
I don't know. Maybe with Mulder and Scully chasing aliens, this is all their budget is good for now.
They did look like Mulder and Scully. What the fuck?
It would probably be if Rainbow Randolph was talking about, things they considered woke. He'd be like, oh, we gotta expose him now. It's like, ugh.
Oh, God, if this existed today, fucking Smoochy would probably be part of, a Pizzagate conspiracy or something. I don't know.
If this existed today, Rainbow Randall would be canceled because he has a rainbow, and that makes it gay.
Yeah.
Honestly, Rainbow Randolph, they do kind of give him a slight Pee Wee Herman vibe to him, right down to the Friends Come in All Sizes song is loaded with innuendos left and right.
Yes. Some say grasp and others say snatch.
Some like to toss and others to catch.
Also, I fucking love when Jon Stewart and Catherine Keener, I love when they're talking with each other about the kid show hosts that they could talk about, and basically all of them have some sort of scandal or have been, had their lives fucked over.
Buggy Ding Dong.
Heroin Mule.
Oh. Square Dance Danny.
And his wife beater.
Princess Puppy.
I'll bust my balls.
Sorry.
Skippy Black and the Tippy Trolls.
Oh, Black was deported? And the Trolls, well, who gives a shit?
And they say cancel culture is a modern invention.
Aw, man, cancel culture doesn't exist, but I wish it did just so you'd shut the fuck up.
Also, I fucking love when Jon Stewart's trying to talk with the head of KidNet and he's like, squeaky, fucking clean.
I love that the first angle you see Jon Stewart at is this bizarre Dutch angle that's pointed at his forehead, like something out of fucking Son of the Mask.
Oh, God.
Okay, but is it an early 2000s movie if we don't have a Dutch angle at least every fifth frame?
Yes, especially with Lord of the Rings in theaters. We need all the Dutch angles.
Yeah.
There was a time in the early 2000s where, especially in kids' movies, I swear every director thought ooh, I'm the next Terry Gilliam. I'm going to do fisheye close-ups and Dutch angles and dark shadows. And I'm like, sir, this is cats and dogs.
A lot of it can work, but then a lot of times we also get Battlefield Earth and Son of the Mask, so...
I just love how it instantly ages a movie.
How is it that Battlefield Earth is somehow funnier than Son of the Mask?
Oh, God, for real.
Well, that's the thing. Battlefield Earth is unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
This is Terrell, your chief of security. Exterminate all man animals at will. And happy hunting!
Also, much love to Jon Stewart, but he has such an unfortunate haircut in this movie.
Yeah.
God, yes.
I'm just not used to seeing him with dark hair. As far as I'm concerned, he came out the womb with gray hair. I'm sorry, no.
Oh, God, you know what I forgot he was in? I forgot he was in Big Daddy, the Adam Sandler
Yes, I was about
movie.
to bring that up. Oh, my God.
God, that movie fucking ripped.
I forgot he was in movies. I always thought he went from comedy and then did The Daily Show, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, he had a talk show before The Daily Show on MTV in the early 90s.
Yeah,
that's right. So then we cut to Nora discovering Sheldon performing at the clinic, and I just love how they introduce Sheldon, by the way. He's just so earnest and kind.
They try to make this whole thing about a guy in a low-budget rhino costume kind of like a punchline, but no, it's actually kind of endearing to see this chill dude singing songs to people who are trying to get their lives back on track.
Yeah.
Funny enough, it feels like a blueprint for his performance as Pete Seeger in A Complete Unknown as well.
Yeah.
Well, let me just start by saying I really want to thank you all for having this little sit-down. I do think we have a few wrinkles we need to iron out in the communication and collaboration departments. I'm here because some second-rate politician from Louisiana decided that he don't like a song I sang. Or maybe he don't like some of the folks I might have sung it to.
Mr. Seeger?
I like how his Smoochy mask, it looks like a football helmet that he just put some foam horns on it.
Yeah. That's another thing. How come every time they do parodies of these shows, it's always a costume, but with the face sticking out of it? When has a kid's show ever had something like that? It's always either been makeup or the whole fursuit.
And later on in the movie, when they start making like action figures of this character with Sheldon's face, I don't think any kid our age in that generation would want something like that. Because that borders on the uncanny valley, I think.
Oh, God.
Hey, just look at the Minecraft movie action figures.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Mommy, I want the toy of the pink rhino eating the man.
Also, I've decided that the Rhinettes in this universe are actually tolerable BJ and Baby Bop.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Well, before that, they were also the Crinkle Kids.
Yeah.
Which, I love that little people are in this movie and they're not a punchline. Like, they actually do stuff. Like, one of the Ryanettes / Crinkle Kids in this movie is sort of like a right-hand man / ally to Rainbow Randolph and actually, like, tries to help him.
Oh yeah, Danny Woodburn. They actually portray him as being like really like responsible and clearly like pretty well off. He's got a nice apartment.
Yeah, and also justice for Angelo because he goes through so much crap in this movie.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Danny Woodburn's from Philly. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was Mickey Abbott on Seinfeld, too.
Oh my God, he was.
I love the scenes of them building the set for Smoochy's Magic Jungle as well. It just looks so cool.
Oh yeah, this movie loves sped up building montages.
And it's actually good fast motion, unlike Barney.
It's fun to watch. I remember there was this episode of Mr. Rogers. It was like a picture-picture segment where it shows like this time lapse of them building the Mr. Rogers set and just like stuff like that as a kid. That was my bread and butter. I fucking loved that stuff.
Ugh, time lapses.
Like,
God bless them.
Like I was not the type of kid who would complain about like the magic being ruined or anything. No, I wanted to know how this shit worked.
Yeah,
same here.
See also the Jim Henson Hour episode where he shows how all the magic is done. Like, that's just cool as hell.
Do you know how many hours I spent on the bonus features part of a DVD menu when I was a kid?
Oh man, I was obsessed with the SpongeBob behind the scenes featurette as a kid.
It was Finding Nemo and The Incredibles for me. I was obsessed with behind the scenes of like Pixar movies and shit because the first Pixar DVDs we got were Finding Nemo and The Incredibles.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my God.
So one thing I forgot to mention is that, during the scene where Sheldon, talks about his birth year being the year that Sesame Street premiered.
I was born on November 11th, 1970. You know what else happened on that date? No. First broadcast of Sesame Street.
Actually.
I was like, actually, it premiered in the funny year on November 10th. Get it right?
Oh, writers, you were doing so well. Into the pit the hell you go. Now we gotta burn the tapes solely because of that misfire.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
If Sheldon has one big flaw, is that he's a little pushy about being a vegan, and then also that black stuff that he squirts all over the soy dog he has. Come on, man.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, the almond butter, which apparently Edward Norton came up with, like, that was his contribution to the movie.
It looks like one of those TikTok foods you'd find, like or one of those awful gold sauces or something.
That thing you find on the TikTok shop that's like, I swear to God, this will give you the summer body you need. And it's only less than a burger.
See, this is what the narrator of Fight Club needed. Instead of joining a club full of toxic masculinity and white supremacy, he should have become a kid show host.
Yeah, there you go.
And yet somehow he still couldn't avoid a giant cock being shown to children.
I'm sure he would have found a way to sneak in a frame of porn somehow. I don't know, but
Also, I gotta be honest, Smoochy's songs sounded way better than the songs they wrote for Rainbow Randolph. For starters, they actually have lyrics, rhymes, instrumentals, a badass saxophone bit.
Yeah.
Watching these mini kid shows are actually kind of fun because they literally feel like fucking Broadway production.
Yes. It's kind of funny that this is supposed to be a Barney parody / look at the culture of anti-Barney culture because the film is actually sympathetic to Smoochy in the process of creating him. Like, they don't just make him utterly all happy-go-lucky. Like, they actually make him talk about real issues and such.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get the sense that Sheldon, like, because he mentions, like, oh, I had to take an anger management course in college. Like, you get the sense that this was a guy who genuinely had, like, pent up anger at some point in his life. The fact that the stepdad song implies that maybe he also had a difficult stepfather. He probably went to a dark place in his life at some point. But now he's doing his best to, stay out of that. That's why by the end, when he almost delves into it, like, it's a really shocking moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm actually kind of glad, because I was kind of worried for a second that the stepdad joke was gonna lead to sort of like just a lazy haha domestic violence bit, which it actually didn't. I'm glad that this movie doesn't really punch down at all.
It really doesn't.
I mean, if anything, it punches up towards the shitty executives.
Absolutely.
The only thing it punches down on is a heroin junkies, it would seem.
Yeah, even that, it's still pretty empathetic towards, because obviously we have Sheldon wanting to rebuild the clinic and such, so
Yeah. If there's only one joke I had to think of that was, like, actually punching down, it's the homosexual Nazi joke that Randolph makes later in the movie.
But even then, he's an asshole, so...
That kind of backfires on him, which we'll get to later, but...
You also get the sense that Randolph, like, he's projecting, like, as Sheldon points out.
Well, I feel sorry for him. I mean, he's obviously got issues he ought to be dealing with.
Right. I mean, he's literally Rainbow Randolph.
I also love that Randolph's downfall is very similar to BoJack's downfall in season 6 of BoJack Horseman, where it seems a bit harsh, but when you actually look into the context of the show before it, as well as what he does after, you're kind of like, yeah, he kind of deserves it.
I wouldn't say kinda. I would say absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
At first, because the first time I watched this movie was a long time ago, actually. Like, right after Robin Williams passed, if I'm not mistaken, I was recommended this movie, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking great. I don't know what I missed here.
Yeah, I first watched it way back in, 2011, and I remember, I think somebody had uploaded it on YouTube in small parts, but then it got removed, so...
But still, just, watching him, slowly become, this deluded pariah who's, homeless and just pushed out of his cushy life is just fucking amazing.
Yes. And also, I fucking love when they're talking about all the Smoochy products. I love how Catherine Keener says,
"We're in a dick measuring contest with Brown and Brown over the shampoo split."
I love how the dialogue is just so snappy. It doesn't bring you into, boring executive bullshit. It actually portrays executives how they are, but it does it in, a funny way where they're, fast-talking assholes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It feels like at times I'm watching fucking Mad Men.
I love that they show Sheldon working hard to keep to his values and prevent himself from... I know you gotta sell a little when you go big, but I'm glad that he keeps the show from completely selling out. And it's similar to today, how it feels like a lot of people are really trying to go indie because the executives are just fucking us over day by day to the point where they're even removing entire shows and movies if it benefits them. Then also the scene where Nora throws the frisbee at Sheldon also killed me.
It just misses his head and he goes, oh, okay.
I also really love Nora's arc in this. She goes through a really good arc of learning how to be a better executive and learn how to actually get on the level of kids instead of just seeing them, as Sheldon puts it, wallets with pigtails.
Nora is really refreshing when it comes to these kind of love interest movies, because movies don't shy away from having a plucky main character, and then the girlfriend in question is very no nonsense. In this case, she's not just no nonsense. She's basically morally bankrupt by the start of the movie, and it's only later that she starts to realize I don't like the way I am now, and this guy is kind of reminding me of a time when I had these values, and maybe I should have them again.
Compared to everybody else in the movie, Nora is a fucking saint.
Absolutely.
She's the fucking pope in this movie compared to Rainbow Randolph and the other characters we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay, and then also, we gotta talk about the scene where after she and Sheldon have the conversation, how she's like, I'm in charge here, buddy. I love when Sheldon's just drinking all the orange juice, how he says...
Look, don't get me wrong, okay? I mean, I'm not literally comparing Captain Kangaroo to Jesus Christ. I'm just saying that the captain, like Christ, was someone that, you could really believe in.
That is a fucking brilliant line.
And then you see the bartender, he's talking to him he's like, I've never seen anybody get buzzed on orange juice before. And then he takes out a little syringe, and Sheldon's like,
Tell you a little secret. You pop a little of this liquid alfalfa in it. Blast off time.
That's me with my soda combos at the movies.
I should have been paying attention when, Nora was basically yelling at Sheldon. But at the same time, like, they're having this fight in the middle of pre-9/11 Times Square. It's hard for me not to look at that rather than the argument on screen.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This movie takes place pre-2002 as well, because I noticed that some of the newspapers say 2001, so...
Oh, there's a scene. We'll get to it, but there's a scene where you can still see the North Tower.
Yep.
But also, what's really cool is that in one of the Times Square shots, what do you see under construction?
Toys R Us.
The Toys R Us!
Speaking of defunct land, I got so sad seeing that.
Oh my god, I rode the Ferris wheel in 2004. It was awesome. Why did they turn it into an H&M?
I know.
Why couldn't they,
God.
Of all the stores, why couldn't they at least have like an H&M Ferris wheel?
Yeah.
I did a day trip to New York all the way back in 2009, and I briefly stepped into the Toys R Us, took like a quick look at it. I wish I spent the whole day exploring it, because holy shit, that place was amazing.
I wanted to ride the Ferris wheel. I wanted to see the T-Rex. I wanted to see the crazy Elmos outside.
I don't think I got to see the T-Rex. Fuck.
I did. It was awesome.
Oh my god, Lucky.
Shit, I am so overdue for a New York trip, even though they took all the cool shit away. I mean, they still have a Disney store. It's not all that bad.
Yeah.
Also, go to the top of the Empire State Building. You're going to love the tour, you're going to love the elevator ride, and you're going to feel like you're on top of the world.
Here's the weird thing, though. You see part of the World Trade Center in one scene, but during, like, a news scroll in another scene at the very beginning of the movie, this says that it takes place in November 2001, because you see something talking about, like, the GameCube versus the Xbox. Does this take place in a universe where 9/11 never happened?
It's the bad universe from It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas.
I love how it's implied that the universe where 9/11 didn't happen is apparently a bad one. That's a little weird. What agendas are you hiding?
Oh, God.
Freeze, Frogmire! You are out past curfew and therefore in violation of local ordinance.
Ribbity.
You can tell this movie's fictional because the corrupt charity is only embraced by the mafia. Cough, cough, Red Cross.
So this is the scene where we get introduced to Danny DeVito's Burke Bennett character, who basically becomes his agent, but it turns out that he has some ties to the mafia and is actually actively working to throw Sheldon under the bus.
Yeah.
Imagine living in New York City. This Italian guy at a fancy restaurant walks up and he goes, "Hey, major famous celebrity, I got a proposition for you." And not immediately going, "This feels suspicious."
Also, this is the second time where he comes in looking like the dad from Matilda.
He really does. Oh my god.
Yeah, I joke that he basically just took his outfit from the set of Matilda and then just wore it on here. He's even got the same kind of mustache.
Huzzah.
Oh, man. And I gotta say, too, because obviously no escape, but the fact that Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman have special thanks credits in Barney's Great Adventure makes this movie's existence 10 times funnier.
Hang on, what?
Yeah, look it up.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, at the very end, they have a special thanks credit.
There are so many hands in that fucking movie.
I know.
We're gonna find out the Church of Scientology funded that movie at some point.
Oh god, no.
Oh yeah, fun fact, it turns out a young Rhea Lando was an extra in that movie. Go figure.
Also, I fucking love the next scene where Sheldon and Nora are having an argument over the songs.
Why was the please and thank you song cut?
Because it's sappy and it takes away from the cookie song.
It enhances it. The cookie song is a meaningless piece of fluff without the please and thank you coda. That's the lesson, Nora. That's the whole moral anchor.
It's cut.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm with Sheldon on this. That cookie song is fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Looky, looky, looky. Here comes a cookie.
You just see Cookie Monster looking and going, "It's been done."
Looky, looky, looky. I did it all for the nookie. God, can you imagine this movie, but with Fred Durst as Smoochy?
Oh my god.
This would hit so much different.
I'm doing it. I'm remaking it. Fred, get over here. I got a hell of a contract for you.
Also, when Randolph is putting in the cookies that he made into the bag, I'm not gonna lie, I thought he put cyanide in them.
Oh yeah, I thought these were gonna be poison cookies.
So how did he know that Smoochy was just so going to have an episode happen where he gives the kids cookies?
A wizard.
He's got to be getting fucking info from the inside here. This is strange. And again, this ties into the whole thing with the poor fucking security, because somehow he sneaks in without a problem.
He also has one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Swallow, Smoochy. Welcome to Fatty Arbuckle Land.
I just immediately thought of Family Guy and just paraphrased it to Smoochies and a little jam, dead girl, dead girl.
Oh, jeez.
I made a joke when I was rewatching this that, in a weird way, this feels like this could be a blueprint for The Substance. Then they literally play the 2001 A Space Odyssey song as the cookie bag comes down.
I literally thought that this was gonna result in, like, Smoochy giving one of the cookies to, like, a kid, and then he accidentally, like, poisons a child.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
I was sitting here thinking, this movie took a dark turn.
Also, we're forgetting to talk about the fact that when Sheldon is arguing with Nora, he's out of the Smoochy costume, and you see him in sort of like this pink tank top and guy liner. Yeah. That did something to me, man. I can't explain why, but it just did.
Valid.
That just hit.
As a lesbian, valid.
If it helps this whole movie, I was just like, Catherine Keener, I'm free 25-8.
Yeah.
Do we even have any jokes about this? The scene explains for itself. It's a rocket ship.
It's a fucking rocket ship. Man.
It's a cocket ship.
Actually, no, it's the ginger dead man's severed penis.
Well, it sure ain't the Pillsbury fucking doughboy.
Robin Williams coming up to this group of children going,
It's a cock! It's not a rocket, you sick fuck! It's a cock!
Randolph!
Look!
Get this guy out!
It's a cock and balls!
Get him out of here
The
right
dick!
now.
It's chorizo and the huevos! It's a big stiffy! Yeah! It's a penis! Penis Maximus, a willy, a weenie! Mr. Jiggle Daddy!
Get him out of here!
The one-eyed Wonder Weasel! Don't you see that? Jimmy and the twins! Rumple foreskin! He made it! He made this thing! It's made from dildo!
Perfect fucking lines. 10 out of 10.
and the whole time these kids are just like, yeah! You could only get away with that in 2002.
He comes up with all these clever names, but the one that makes me laugh hardest is when he just points at it and goes, "It's a penis!"
So when I was doing research for this movie, I found out from somewhere, I think it was Reddit, that the cut for TV version that shows for this cuts this scene out entirely.
Whoa!
So when he pops out and he says, "It's a cock," it just cuts to him like being thrown out by the security guards.
Dang.
So it's just, and then he gets thrown out.
I hate TV edits.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Come on, if you're gonna have Robin Williams scream penis euphemisms, you gotta keep it in the movie. Fuck the censors.
You see what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps?
And also, I love how honest they are about how old those kids actually are, as they're all snickering about the fact that it's a dick. Like,
oh, these kids all knew.
Unlike Barney, where they're like, "Oh, these kids are totally young enough to be playing with Barney and not be sneak watching South Park and Family Guy."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, watching this as an autistic, I wonder two things. One, does this count as a Rainbow Randolph crossover? Two, did this become lost media?
Yes, it did.
God, imagine dedicating your life to finding the lost penis cookie episode of Smoochy's Magic Jungle.
I can literally hear it in my head, the creepy music, blame it on Jorge's voice, the penis cookie incident, but Smoochy's Magical Jungle. In 2002, there was an incident live where Smoochy the Rhino takes out a phallic-shaped cookie.
We would review this if we were in the Death the Smoochy universe, let's be real.
Oh, we fucking would. We would make it our life's goal to have this fucking clip on her.
And if this was real, the penis incident would be my lost media white whale.
Yes.
Oh, man. I mean, in this universe, if the Wicked Witch episode of Sesame Street could be found, I'm sure this could be found. Which I still can't believe that happened. Holy shit.
I am so happy it did. Oh my god.
Also, I fucking love that later on, after the whole incident, when Sheldon and Burke are talking again, after Sheldon is literally handed a gun by Burke, despite him going on his, "I don't handle guns," he doesn't think maybe that's a good time to let go of Burke.
Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, look. Chekhov's gun was expensive. You gotta use it later on in the movie.
Oh, guys, actually, could you hold on for a second? I need to see something real quick. So, guys, we just got a present. Let me take a look at it.
We just got a present. We just got a present.
Oh, yeah, guys. Oh, shit. Look at this. It's a flimsy framing device. It's a flimsy framing device for congratulatory messages from all of our friends.
Yay!
A flimsy framing device full of congratulatory messages from our friends. My favorite.
Yay! Thank you to our friends for all these beautiful messages you're about to hear.
Hey, Tony Goldmark here to congratulate Channel KRT on hitting 100 episodes. Congratulations to K, congratulations to R, congratulations to T, and especially congratulations to Channel. I have had a blast talking about the Weird Al Show, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the series, Freaked, and Runaway Brain on this podcast, and I hope you'll have me back on again soon. Keep on keeping the tapes, y'all.
Congratulations with episode number 100. Oops, I said the wrong language. Let's try again.
Yeah, okay, let's do it correct this time.
Congratulations with episode number 100.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nailed it.
Hey guys, it's your Barney buddy and title card artist, Marissa. So I just want to say congratulations on 100 episodes, and I'm glad to have been a part of it and along for a ride this whole time. This show has not only given me a great creative outlet, it's been a lot of fun doing the artwork over the years, but also an outlet to kind of geek out about anything from my favorite sitcom of all time to the deep lore of a certain dinosaur that we will never escape. So, I love you guys, I'm so proud of you, and here's to 100 more.
Tyler, Randy, Kit, this is Jen. Words can't properly convey how awesome you guys are. Every episode of Channel KRT is a delight to listen to, and I want to thank you a million times over for the times you let me be part of one of my favorite, not just podcasts, but things ever. I'm incredibly honored to have gone off in search of Dr. Seuss and clowned on Jimbo the Clown with you, witnessed the return of Frosty in the form of John Goodman, and of course, asked the age-old question, have you seen Twink? The three of you have done more than shine a light on overlooked media we love or love to riff on. You brought together a diverse group of fans who became some of the closest friends I know. All of us will be forever grateful for that. Congrats on reaching 100 episodes. Here's to the next 100. Woohoo!
Hey, Channel KRT, it's Flower Gothic. I just wanted to congratulate y'all on your 100th episode. Woohoo! Yay!
Howdy, everybody. This is Gomer coming to you live from a truck stop in the middle of Wisconsin. And I have heard through a little... Wait, that's not a bird. That's a crab. No, I'm sure it's nothing. That Channel KRT has hit 100 episodes, and I just want to say congrats, guys. For those who've been listening to the show for a while, I have been a big patron of theirs for I don't know how many years, and I'm very glad I have done so. They do good work, and I hope they continue to do more good work in the future. I look forward to whatever you got to do, and I also look forward to cringing at my own voice when they inevitably put this in the episode. So yeah, congratulations, and now there's like 17 different crabs out there, 20, 24, 32, 64, 128. What the fuck?
Hey, Channel KRT, this is Andy, who does your theme song or something like that. I want to say thank you for not only letting me do your theme song, but congratulations to 100 episodes. And are you sure the April Fool's one doesn't count? Well, anyway, congratulations on this milestone, and I look forward to many more things to come.
Happy 100th episode to Channel KRT. I am so happy that you guys reached this milestone. You have reintroduced the world to some obscure media, and even if the world wasn't ready to remember it, and you know what? You guys are braver than the troops for that. I was so happy to be on 2 of your episodes, even though one of the episodes was Mad Monster Party. My therapy bills are in the mail for that, by the way. But I did get to talk about Count Floyd for one of them. So, honestly, win-win. I'm going to send as much love to you guys as I possibly can. Love all 3 of you to death. Here's to 100 more episodes of No Escapes for you guys. Love you!
Hello, Kit, Randy, and Tyler. This is David Gansel, aka Doggins, and I just want to congratulate you for 100 episodes of exploring half-remembered nostalgic mediocrities and greatnesses. You've covered a wide range of topics, from the delightful to the despicable, and I'm glad I got to join you on a couple of episodes to relive a bunch of things that I, up until then, only kind of remembered.
Greetings from the Lake Townsend water treatment plant. This is a very special message to my dear friends at Channel KRT, Kit Connor, Tyler Perry, and Randy Moore. I want to thank you so much for all that you do for the planet, and for having me on to talk about such wonderful programs like Bartman and Bible Dude, and of course the Jason Momoa Frosty the Snowman film. Remember that one? Here's to another 10 years of amazing times. It's all really political, doing things for 10 years, but you just gotta hang in there, Buy war bonds. Thank you. And good night.
Hello, Mike, aka Michael N. here, wanting to congratulate Kit, Randy, and Tyler on 100 episodes. Want to thank you guys once again for having me on there to talk about gargoyles, and want to congratulate you guys on this amazing milestone. And hopefully this episode will go on for 100, maybe even 1,000 more, who knows. Congratulations, guys, and here's to the future of Channel KRT.
Hey, Kit, Randy, and Tyler. It's Chandler from Sunnyland Productions, and previously the podcast without a cool acronym. May it rest in peace. Congrats on your 100th episode. Honestly, with some of the stuff you guys have covered, it's kind of hard to believe that you haven't gone completely insane. No escape.
Has it already been 100 episodes? And I've only been on 2, so technically you've only made 2 episodes that are amazing. Well, I'll have to fix that for the next 100. Speaking of which, can you believe that in the first episode I was on, Cherry wasn't even a year old? And now she's almost 5. Oh my goodness. Anyways, she technically grew up with you guys. Who'd have thought your podcast means a lot to me, more than you think it does? Primarily because it was the only way to get directly to Tony Goldmark so that I may destroy him. But, enough of that. I am proud of you all. You haven't pissed me off enough for me to destroy you yet, so I will just say congratulations. And I think we have a special guest who would like to say a few words of her own for how much this podcast means to her. Okay, here's your time, Cherry. She got spit on my computer screen. Stop! Don't slap the microphone! You're so cute. I just realized my baby talk is being recorded, so I will have to destroy you. This is Agatha Vile, and I am going to be getting my plasma cutter. Good luck and goodbye!
Hello, folks. This is Zeiss033, a.k.a. Jacob Miller, a.k.a. your editor for the evening. And I just want to wish the good folks over at Channel KRT a very happy 100th episode. I mean it. I started working with these guys about a couple years back, at least since the Don't Eat the Pictures episode, and I am so incredibly grateful to know these folks. They have been nothing but kind and supportive to me. They are damn good people, and they make a damn good podcast, and I am so touched and happy they allowed me to be a part of it. Happy 100. Here's to an amount more. Oh shit, I actually gotta edit this dang thing. A wacky sound effect, go!
Oh man, thank you guys so much. I don't know what we did to deserve such lovely fucking friends. Oh, man.
I'm so grateful for all of you. You all have bettered my life.
I'm so happy I joined Twitter in 2017. Thank you all so much.
Yay!
Yeah. All right, so back to the movie.
So we got to talk about Spinner, because I have a very interesting factoid to go into about him.
I think, is this factoid the one I found? Because I think we might have the same thing.
Yes.
You go first.
Okay, although first, before I go into that one, I gotta mention this quickly. I was trying to think what I recognized him from, because I know that he had a minor role in The Sopranos, but I was trying to think, there was something else I saw Michael Rispoli in, and turns out he was the neighbor in While You Were Sleeping, something I reviewed on Escape from Walt Disney.
And years ago at the movies, she sat behind him. A 6:30 showing of Death to Smoochy.
But yeah, so our factoid about Spinner is that one of the people who auditioned to play Death to Smoochy and probably had the most insane experience about auditioning for him as Spinner is Henry fucking Rollins.
Yes, you saw this too. Yes.
Yeah.
Henry Rollins.
Just...
Oh man, given what we've seen of him in fucking Jack Frost, he would have been perfect for this role.
Yeah.
Yes, like Michael Rispoli is still great in it, but yeah.
I mean, I kind of have some umbrage with, how he's played, because it kind of feels a little like punching down onto, people on the spectrum, but
yeah.
At the same time, he's just an endearing character.
In his case, it's more that he's a boxer who has suffered heavy brain damage from all the hits he's taken in the ring. And to quote another Robin Williams line,
he's a little punch drunk. One too many hits with a snake.
You know what? This is punching up at the boxing industry, despite the fact that boxing is incredibly entertaining.
And also, this is our introduction to Spinner's cousin Tommy, played by Pam Ferris, and she is just a badass.
Yes,
well, I guess this counts for our St. Patty's Day episode. We got Irish mobs.
Yeah.
Y'all.
The trench coat herself, and once again, she nails it. She actually might be my favorite character in the whole movie.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I fucking love the shenanigans the Irish Mafia gets into this.
My personal favorite of her crew is Roy.
Roy, have you got the hammer?
Always got the hammer, Tommy.
I love that they're like, okay, we'll offer to be your bodyguards, basically, if you give Spinner a role on the show. And he basically goes full Christopher Walken, needs more cowbell.
So we got Smoochy lore now. Smoochy has a cousin.
Holy shit.
Well, he doesn't become Moochie until later in the movie, but still.
Oh, I know. Well, you still mentioned it, so. We should talk about the fact, too, that Sheldon really has to fight to get, his own executive producer credit, and wins. I fucking love that for him.
Oh, I wish that happened in real life.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, man, executives listening to the creatives behind a beloved show? That would never happen today.
Basically, it's the only way we ended up getting part of your world, and we still got When Love Is Gone cut in the final cut of Muppets Christmas Carol.
When Love Is Gone is gone.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Randolph basically having to live with Angelo.
I love their dynamic. It's just, Angelo just has to fucking put up with his bullshit.
Yes, I love when Angelo says,
"The kids are 10 feet under."
With you.
I personally love while Angel's making him dinner, and he's like, gotta let it go. Like, I can't let it go. The rhino. The devil sent him from hell to destroy me. And of course, and my personal favorite rant that Randolph goes on when he calls up Sheldon and he says,
You better grow eyes in the back of your fucking head, you horned piece of shit, because I'm not gonna sleep until worms are crawling up your foam rubber ass. I'm going on safari, motherfucker. Safari.
Best fucking quote in the movie by far. And believe me, there are a lot of good fucking quotes in this movie.
Yeah, this is one of those super quotable movies.
Also, I love that when he becomes an executive producer, the thing that Sheldon gets most excited about is when he's given wheatgrass by Burke.
Yes.
Then, of course, he's not able to fully have his way because, unbeknownst to him, they've claimed that he's doing this ice show, which he's against because he views them as just pure fluff, which enter Harvey Fierstein as the mobster who runs the Parade of Road Hotel.
Yes! The fucking Easter Bunny. Which I love that initially the movie tries to make a point to hide his face, and then 2 scenes in, they just fucking give up and say, hey, look, it's Harvey Fierstein.
Oh, my face!
Also, there's another kidding parallel, too, with the ice show. So I'm expecting at this point that Smoochy is accidentally going to slit Tara Lipinski's throat with an ice skate.
Yes.
Also, this is Robin Williams and Harvey Fierstein's first movie together since Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I wish they were in more movies together. They work so well.
Yes.
I'm wondering if that Rumple foreskin line was a callback to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, he does do a Miss Doubtfire voice later in the movie, so.
That's true, he does.
We'd also like to present you with a plaque, a token for your continued commitment to children's television. The presenter will be a young orphan with mild asthma.
Also, I like to think that Harvey Fierstein's character in this is the exact same character he plays in Elmo Saves Christmas. This is what he does on the side when he's not making those eggs alive.
He just takes off the Easter Bunny costume. I had a hard fucking day today, guys.
Then we gotta talk about Randolph offending the Scottish.
I love how because he's setting up Sheldon for his downfall, but he can't choose between a Scottish accent and an Australian accent. He keeps going back and forth like, no, 1 second, hello, my name is Henry McDucklepick, and I would like to welcome you to our new charity. And the next thing I was like, oh, hello, Mr. Mopes, we're happy to have you here. It's like he can't choose between the two. And even Sheldon at one point is like, where'd you say you were from again?
Come on, are we going to be Willie or are we going to be Bluey? You got to pick one.
He's stuck between David Tennant and Steve Irwin.
Oh, man, my favorite, Steve Tennant and Dave Irwin.
The crocodile doctor.
I love that his disguise isn't even that good, but Sheldon falls for it anyway.
I mean, in all fairness, if you saw Robin Williams wearing a fake beard and a wig, you would believe that's an entirely different character. He is just that good.
Very true, especially when he was able to trick people with his Mrs. Doubtfire costume when he'd walk into sex shops and such.
Well, yeah, but the problem is, it's like, yeah, you put on the mustache and the beard and everything. As soon as he puts on glasses, hey, that's the guy from Good Will Hunting.
Holy shit, is that Bill Pullman and Casper?
You also gotta love Randolph trying to bait Sheldon into saying bad things about Rainbow Randolph. And he's like, oh, I thought he was actually quite talented. He's clearly got some issues. And then, meanwhile, Randolph is just unloading all of his insecurities onto him. And that's where, like, the close-ups really work, like, all the close-ups of, like, the eye and all that. Like, it just goes to, like, make Randolph, like, even more deranged.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also I fucking love when he says, there's potato chips and vodka back there for you, and how Sheldon's explaining how they're not good for your chi. Randolph's immediately like, well, I don't really eat Korean food. It's just such a dumb line, but it works.
So, this next scene, how do we describe it? Because holy shit, you would not, I know this is not the kind of thing we would say, but really, you could not do something like this today.
Oh,
What, I don't know what, this was what I laughed hardest at, honestly, just for how absurd and
me too.
horrible it was.
Me too, yes, but...
It's one of those things where I was uncomfortably laughing, but laughing at the same time.
It is flat out the funniest reveal in the movie, bar none.
It's like the scene in Rat Race, basically. Like, it's so fucking... It's the execution that makes it work.
So picture this in your head. You see Sheldon walking onto the stage. It's a shot to his back. You know, you see spotlights hiding the audience. It's so bright you can't see shit. He starts singing a song and he asks to turn the lights down. The lights turn down. It's a fucking neo-Nazi rally.
Nazis everywhere. And then, as if that's not enough, a huge swastika banner falls right behind him. And they're all going, Hi-yo, Smoochy! Hi-yo, Smoochy!
Jesus!
What I find extra funny about that scene is that there's also a wide variety of different kinds of Nazis at that one, because you've got the modern-day skinheads, you've got the rednecks with, like, the flannel shirts, you got the brown shirts, the Gestapo types with, like, the classic SS uniforms, like...
Oh,
like it's like a Baskin-Robbins of Nazis.
Yeah! The band, now I have my joke. You know, funny enough, a Baskin-Robbins of neo-Nazis is the name of my Mayhem tribute band.
Oh, jeez. Guys, it all makes sense. American History X was the bad ending of this movie.
Yeah!
This was a prequel the entire time.
So on one hand, I'm a little iffy about the inclusion of this because it's a little like, yeah, it could happen. Somebody could get set up to accidentally perform at a Nazi rally. On the other hand, it does feel like a flimsy excuse to be there. Like, oh, but I didn't know. It's like what they're joking about in the joke in It's Always Sunny, where Frank says that he's on the Epstein list, but only for snorkeling. Just at the same time, it is a setup, so it's at the end of the day, Randolph was the one who probably correlated with that Nazi rally, so yeah.
And this is the point where I lose just any sympathy I had Randolph at this point, which is very small. I had very small sympathy as it was, because the dude literally works with fucking Nazis to pull this off. What the fuck?
For any of the youngins listening who are confused as to what the joke is, see, back in 2002, Nazis were widely considered to be a bad thing. It was bad to be as a Nazi.
Oh yeah, if this came out today, there would be so many people defending.
Smoochy is a free speech warrior.
Yeah, exactly. What's the matter? You have a problem with Smoochy having a different opinion than you?
You could just hear Elon Musk going, "I'd like to give Smoochy a Cybertruck and a verified X account. Make comedy legal again."
Hey kids, we got a very special guest on our show today. Say hello to Jordan Peterson.
Yes!
Welcome to Bent Key, Smoochy.
Guys, it was a Smoochy salute.
It was a Smoochy.
Also, as if this wasn't inaccurate enough, everybody knows that the cops that burst in to arrest everybody would be working with the Nazis and not stopping them.
Yeah, the cops would burst in. All the Nazis would be like, "Oh, hey, it's Frank. Hey, you're late. Come to the rally."
And in case we haven't made it clear enough, fuck Nazis.
Oh yeah, no, just I can't believe we have to say this, but we don't like Nazis here. In fact, we very much the opposite of like Nazis here.
If you've been listening to our show for these past 100 episodes and you're somehow a white nationalist or a Nazi, what the fuck are you doing here? Get the fuck out of here.
So here's the thing. We love to make fun of Nazis. We just don't like Nazis.
Nazis are great for punchlines.
Oh, literally, just lines punching Nazis in a line.
I mean, what is history's biggest punchline more than just a Nazi? You know, you have this hyper-militaristic society based on how strong and Aryan it is. It starts one war, and it loses immediately.
Goose-stepping morons like yourself should try reading books instead of burning.
Wait, guys, it just hit me. This podcast is going to be 5 years old, and it's going to go on, which means it's officially outlasted the Confederacy!
Yes! Hell yeah! Oh man, remember we wanted to make that a running gag and we never did for some reason? Oh well.
Yeah, it's a little basic, so I kind of get it, but at the same time, woo!
Can you believe it's 1865 already? Jeez, how time flies.
Wait, they have podcasts in 1865?
Oh, this isn't a podcast. We're all just sitting around the cabin drunk as hell.
I mean, I know I am, but...
Yeah, we're why prohibition's going to be a thing in like 30 years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it actually also doesn't surprise me that you got those Nazis yelling Heil Smoochy, considering the fact they made Pepe an alt-right like symbol. Like, they would take anything by this point.
Hey, look at Mac tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't tell me they did that to Mac tonight. No, I like
Yeah,
Mac.
they did.
Oh.
They did. It goes far back to the Barney Bunch, which I don't think I've ever made my stance known about the Barney Bunch, but there is absolutely a Barney Bunch to alt-right pipeline.
Fuck the Barney Bunch. Fuck them, and they are not fucking affiliated. When I joke about hating Barney, I do not affiliate with those motherfuckers.
To me, the Barney Bunch feels kind of like the UTTP in that it's like, it's this group of weird, hyper-specific internet subculture that I can't even be scared of. I'm just like, you people are the biggest losers.
Also, when Smoochy's downfall begins, I'm like, don't worry, they're just going to replace him with Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, man. So when Sheldon comes out and he tries to talk Nora, he's wearing this disguise that makes him look like the fucking guy from the New Radicals.
Just to explain to the kids again, back in the day, you actually got canceled for being a Nazi.
If only.
Where did it all go wrong?
Don't get me wrong, I'm glad it turns out it was all a plant and Sheldon had no actual affiliation with those people, but good on Nora for refusing to associate with him if that was the case, so.
Oh, yeah, she was right to do it.
Yeah.
For once, the heartless executive was right.
Well, this is during the point where, like, she was starting to soften up to him. which, kind of makes it more of a gut punch, I think, because they bond with each other over a mutual show that they used to like as kids, which was sort of like this Bozo the Clown-esque show, I guess. I forget what it was called, but...
Ricketts the Hippo.
Ricketts the Hippo, yes.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of hippos in this movie. I wonder what that's about.
Well, I mean, what are hippos but just submarine rhinos?
If anything, I felt more bad for Nora finding out that he was a supposed Nazi. It still sucks that he's in that position, but, yeah.
So the one time she lets her guard down and then the rug is pulled right from under her.
By the way, a bit of spoilers for later in the movie. I love the little detail that she always gets drunk before apologizing to people, but later on it had turned out that Sheldon had been planted into it. She apologizes to him completely sober. Like, that's some good character development there.
Oh, the character development in this movie is so great.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I can't believe people didn't like this movie. They didn't get anything out of this, because there's a lot you can get out of this movie.
This is fucking hilarious.
It's also fucking hilarious. It has a surprising amount of heart to it, but we're not giving it our final ratings yet. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Also, when the head of KidNet is talking about how they're going to be replacing the Smoochy time slot with reruns of cartoons, I was like, and now it's a time slot for Worker and Parasite.
What the hell is that?
Look, Smithers, Smoochy is coming.
We forgot to mention the hilarious fucking scene where Randolph is dancing in the street.
Dancing like Donald O'Connor and singing in the rain.
Over this whole thing about, framing Sheldon as a Nazi. He goes up to this baby in a baby carriage and he goes, "Hello, little nibble nippler, the rhino's a Nazi!" And then the baby just starts fucking crying.
I thought I heard all the different r/child-free terms for children. You got crotch goblin, you got fuck trophy. Nipple nibbler is a new one. That's creative.
Side note, if you use the phrase crotch goblin unironically, fuck you.
Agreed. I'm child-free by choice, and I hate our child-free, except for the sources that they provide. Those are good.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you right now, if you think r/child-free is crazy, wait till you see r/pet-free. Those people are insane.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck
do I have to pull a John Wick? Because I'll pull a John Wick.
Hell yeah.
I literally see them saying, dogs belong outside, and then saying, I can't even sit against a tree in the park without thinking about a dog peeing on it. I'm like, that sounds like a you problem.
That's it. Where's my gun? Also, because I'm very petty, why do they have to use that stock baby sound effect?
Yeah.
It's not the baby Kate cry, but it's still pretty fucking annoying.
How much more money could it cost to just put a boom near the baby while it's crying? Oh, by the way, the shot where he's dancing after calling the kid a nipple nibbler, the North Tower is in that scene.
If I had to rank the worst baby cry sound effects, one, the worst one of all, the one that plays in The Incredibles when Jack's getting stolen. You know the one. The second one, the baby Kate cry. The third one, the one that plays in this. There.
I have an honorable mention. George Pig from Peppa Pig. But that's
God.
Okay, now it's top 4. That's at the very top of the list.
Bacon time.
Especially because it feels like that little fucker cries at the drop of a hat.
So then we cut to a scene in Nora's apartment where Randolph decides to just barge in, basically.
Oh, as if this motherfucker couldn't get skeevy enough. He tries to get back with Nora because it turns out, she kind of had sort of this groupie phase with, different kid show hosts. And this is where he blows his cover when he makes the homosexual Nazi vibe. And I gotta say, her punching Randolph straight in the fucking face, after everything he's done, fucking deserved. Oh, man.
Absolutely.
That was just chef's kiss. Chef kisses everywhere.
I also love that she doesn't get slut-shamed for that. She doesn't get, told, oh, how dare she do that? It's not good that she did it, but they don't try to villainize her for it.
Oh, no, in any other movie, that would have been, the third act breakup. I can't believe you did it. And then Sheldon would, mope for, 20 minutes, and then they'd finally resolve it later. No, Sheldon's a remarkably, forgiving person. He wouldn't get hung up on that.
The 2000s were so weird for that. It's on the one hand, slut-shaming was prevalent, but on the other hand, it was also the golden age of sluttiness.
Yeah. It's I love Moulin Rouge, but that scene where he basically slut-shames her in the third act really puts me off.
It's
he should have died of tuberculosis at that moment.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to go back to the 2000s, mid to early 2000s, go on top of, the tallest building in Times Square shout from a bullhorn, "Do we hate sluts or do we love sluts? Make up your mind."
Exactly. And we also got to talk about the brilliant line when Randolph's being arrested and it's revealed that he basically frames Smoochy.
How does it feel to be voted the most hated man in America,
Listen, in a country full of Neanderthals, I wear the fucking badge of honor.
Orwell says you have an unhealthy obsession with shells and boats.
Well, I barely know that bitch, okay? And she's been down on everything but the Titanic. She spreads like cream cheese for Sheldon.
What about the rumors that you're mentally imbalanced?
Who the fuck said that? That's bullshit! I'm not mentally imbalanced! I'm on the same dosage I've always been!
I'm so happy that's a TikTok sound now.
Yes.
And then Randolph gets hit by a fucking egg. He actually gets a fucking assassination attempt.
You know what? That is my rule. That is my rule. If you're gonna slut shame, make it funny.
Yes. I will say that seeing Smoochy return to the show in an American flag, I'm like, that's not that much better, but, I'll give it a pass because at the time America hated Nazis.
You know what? It was post 9/11.
Yeah.
You gotta let them have fun.
He's been rebranded as Captain Smooch America.
Also, oh my god, guys, Barney exists in this universe because when Randolph is breaking the TV, he calls him bastard son of Barney.
And an illegitimate Teletubby and a Muppet from hell.
I love, by the way, that Angelo is cool with letting him stay after it's been revealed that he framed him, after Tommy and her boys broke in and basically broke a bunch of shit in Angelo's apartment. But breaking the television was the last straw.
Yeah, Angelo is too fucking forgiving. I'd argue that, he's probably an enabler of Randolph's bullshit.
In all fairness, really think about it. You can live without plates. You can live without cups. Those are so easy to get new ones. Can you really live without a TV?
A picture-in-picture TV.
Yeah, this was back when TVs were huge and expensive. These weren't the nice little inexpensive flat screens you could get on Facebook Marketplace anywhere. No, TVs were expensive.
And as he says, that was a picture-in-picture, so...
And this guy lives in an apartment.
In New York.
Well, if you can afford a new TV, it's heavy as shit. Now you gotta drag it all the way up to your apartment.
Also, that bit where the camera's, zooming in on Robin Williams and he says, "I despise you. I loathe you." That needs to be a GIF. I need to see that on Twitter.
Ham.
Absolutely.
We're up to spare ribs and hot dogs on this one.
Also, it's so fucked up, but it was so funny when Randolph was overhearing somebody who was promoting a Save the Black Rhino promotion, and he just attacks the guy because he's so sick of hearing about rhinos.
He's attacked for doing nothing, basically.
Save the rainbow, the motto of 2025, I think it would be.
Hey!
I'll be there front and fucking center for that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. So I will say, as much as I do like the close-ups in this movie, I probably didn't need a close-up of Burke and Harvey Firestein eating shrimp.
I love the filmmaking in this movie, but that was the single most, unnecessary use of close-ups I've probably ever seen in a movie, because there's no reason for it. We know where they are. We know what they're doing. It's not, extra uncomfortable. It's just awkward.
That had to inspire the shrimp eating scene in The Substance. Changed my mind.
Do you think Dennis Quaid watched this and was like, hey, they might be on to something here?
I mean, given what else he's up to these days.
Reagan smash! Reagan smash!
What's that?
Oh, it's just Reagan. Just leave him alone. He'll tire himself out.
Reagan sleepy.
I mean, in all fairness, what is Randy Quaid doing but being a Randy Quaid character right now?
On one hand, I really didn't want Randolph redeemed, but I can't lie. The scene where he's attempting to kill himself in the middle of this.
Yeah, that hits different now.
Yeah. So the little girl coming up to him did get me a little misty-eyed, I can't lie, but it's does he deserve it, though?
No, I mean...
Then them all immediately flocking to Smoochy, and then that great shot of overhead.
Oh, God! What does it all mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, every review quote about this movie.
That's
all day long on Channel 13, Sesame Street, what does it mean? So basically what I'm getting at here is that Billy Joel walked so that KRT could run.
Yes.
Huzzah.
Yes, he did. Thank you, Billy Joel, for creating Channel KRT. Can we ever repay you?
She's always a channel to KRT. So when they're singing the Stepdad song, it's kind of funny how they are singing it first, like how the stepdad is imperfect, but they throw in a line about how he sends you to bed without dinner to eat. It's like, that kind of qualifies as abusive behavior, guys.
Well, no, not kinda. Absolutely.
Sending you to bed without dinner. Where are we? Kansas in the 1930s?
Yeah.
He sends you to bed without dinner. Actually, you know what? This guy might be a piece of shit.
Yes, yeah, sends me to bed with Zilty was the lyric, which, I mean, that's kind of like, that's a product of, like, my parents would tell me that that's the kind of, like, that was still an appropriate punishment at the time when they were, like, kids growing up in, like, the 60s or 70s, but, like now, like, I don't see that flying.
But, like, it's still so old-fashioned. Like, oh, you're sending me to bed without supper? What's next? You gonna make me sit in the corner with a dunce cap?
But it was still a good song.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to mention, too, the scene where, you know, Sheldon, the Smoochy, is talking with the kids after he comes back, and he, you know, has, like, this heart-to-heart conversation with the kids where he talks about, you know, like, what he does when he gets upset. And it's like this really heartwarming scene where he's talking about, you know, like, when he gets down and everything, he just yells into the void, which is good advice. But then immediately afterward, he follows it up by saying, well, let's do the jiggy ziggy. I will not do the jiggy ziggy.
That's what she said.
No, please, I don't want to do the jiggy ziggy. Help.
Then also, I did get a small laugh out of the kid during the stepdad song saying,
But remember, if he is ever abusive to you or mommy, what are the magic numbers? 911! That's right!
And that's where Spinner is given his new role as Smoochy's cousin, Moochie the Rhino.
Smoochy lore! Smoochy lore!
I would have loved if they made it so that Moochie was just constantly taking money from Smoochy and being like a lesson in learning not to take advantage of people.
This costume's making my nuts itch!
Oh, Moochie, we hardly knew you, because very next scene, the poor sap gets killed by the goons who think that he's Smoochy.
Oh, justice for Spinner.
Whenever Moochie's not on screen, everybody has to ask, where's oh my god, what happened to him?
Don't worry, kids, his home planet needed him.
That's what happened to both Poochie and Sparky.
And while this is going on, by the way, this is the scene where Nora and Sheldon, like, finally bang.
Yeah. I love that they're just banging on set.
Yeah, on set, where there's all these kids waiting for Smoochy. Sorry, kids, Smoochie's getting laid.
It's like this set still doesn't have good security after the whole dick cookie incident, so... So, of course somebody would get murdered.
Well, first there was the dick cookie incident. Now he's getting his dick cookied.
Also, even though it's a tragic scene, there's just also something really darkly funny about the police chalk outline being the Rhino costume.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that is a textbook Danny DeVito joke right there.
Also, I fucking love when it cuts to the news footage and Harvey Fierstein is watching it like, how did you get the wrong guy? And then I also fucking love how he says,
Smoochy is fuchsia. Moochie is burgundy. Read a paper. What do I gotta take you back to kindergarten?
This is literally us trying to school people on Barney lore.
It sounds like he's berating like a couple of workers who put in the wrong drapes in his home.
Yes.
Which, by the way, we know that Barney exists in this universe. Is Barney a threat to Smoochy or Rainbow Randolph?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it.
It's really sweet to me that Tommy and her boys stand by Sheldon and they basically be his bodyguards after what happened with Spinner as a thank you for all he's done for him.
Which actually leads to my favorite scene in the whole movie when they're investigating and they find out that it was Merv Green and not Rainbow Randolph, and Sheldon's like, we're gonna get him, and then she explains it like, no, it's already been taken care of, and the scene where they kill Merv Green is perfect. The transition from the present to like the past, the lighting, that like sickly green, and of course, easily my favorite Tommy line in the movie.
Oh, you like kids, huh?
Oh, yes, sure, of course.
I bet you know some fairy tales then. Hey, Danny, tell him the one about the worthless prick that gets his head chopped off with an axe.
Yes.
And then that shot of the axe in the foreground with Harvey Fierstein in the background is like, this is why movies are a thing. This is cinema in its purest form.
I can't believe Danny DeVito does not have a directing career anymore, because the way this is shot is so fucking great.
Blame both the financial disappointment that was this as well as Duplex, because that kind of was the nail in the coffin for him directing motion pictures.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is proof that the critics are not always right. And sometimes not even are the audience.
Agreed. And so then that's when they bring back in Buggy Ding Dong. And
that's such a dumb name. I love it.
And I love his line when he's reintroduced, when he's meeting Nora in the room, and he's like,
Buggy Ding Dong shall rise again like a magnificent phoenix. Or some other town in Arizona.
So we've barely talked about the character of Marion Stokes, who was played by Jon Stewart. Turns out he's in on this too.
Yep.
I love how in every scene it looks like Jon Stewart is barely keeping it together. Like any minute he's going to have a nervous breakdown. You just know that guy's desk is just filled with nothing but cigarettes and bourbon.
He was sweatier than Giuliani, basically. And then also we cut to Nora and Sheldon being in the penthouse. And of course, because they don't lock their doors, apparently, Randolph is able to break in.
Because, nobody locks their doors in New York.
Yeah.
I love when Randolph is trying so hard to smear Nora. Like we said earlier, he's so trying to bring up, oh, she used to sleep with a bunch of kids shows hosts. Sheldon is still like, well, at first he's a little shocked, but then he's like, hey, that's not cool, man. Like, I love that.
Oh, man, he is a fucking feminist left and right.
Yes.
That is fucking allyship right
Hell yeah.
Also, you gotta love the line, do you have any idea the power of a condemned man? That line goes hard.
Oh,
yes. And I gotta be honest, as much as I love this movie, this is where it kind of loses points for me, because this is where it kind of leads into the whole, Randolph redemption arc, which I gotta be honest, he does not deserve.
Yeah.
After the Nazism, no, this dude deserves hell on earth.
Yeah.
The problem is it's in the last like I want to say 25 minutes of the movie, so there's not really a lot of time dedicated to it. Maybe if the movie was a little longer, they could have done it a little better. Like maybe if we had more scenes of Randolph trying to better himself, or if we got to know his backstory a little more. Ultimately, it ends up working for me by the virtue of the fact that I don't want to hate Robin Williams. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not talking about Robin Williams.
I know.
I'm talking about Rainbow Randolph. He's a fucking monster.
He's got the face of one of Hollywood's most beloved comedians.
Oh, when you put it that way. Yeah, I actually do have a point.
Although I do love the line,
look what you've done to this place. It's all Diane Fossey. When I lived here, it was Bob Fosse. Right there. I had a big painting of a naked chick holding a little plant. Very tasteful, no bush. Not a picture of your fucking mother!
Randolph's ass, aisle 3.
Also, when he calls Sheldon Moses and starts calling himself the Pharaoh, just such good lines.
Has that whole breakdown.
So the whole plot with Buggy Ding Dong is that he's planning to kill Sheldon at the Smoochy Ice Show, which Sheldon has completely retooled into a tribute for Spinner and just basically an entire event post.
Yeah.
Hiring a heroin addict to be an assassin. This plan reeks of success.
Buggy Ding Dong will rise again!
It is very sweet to me that Sheldon wants all the profits of this ice show to go to rebuilding the clinic that sadly got shut down, that he used to perform at.
Not only that, he wants to have, free refreshments and drinks. That is based, actually.
Yeah. Base. Very base.
I will say those saltless pretzels. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but I don't know.
Come on, give us salt, give us cinnamon sugar. I don't know. And so then we cut to the ice show itself, and I love that it's basically just a recapture of the entire movie. Just they show this Smoochy being chased by Randolph, Smoochy being chased by the Nazis. Just they even have a scene of Spinner's death in it, which is so dark, sadly funny at the same time.
Yeah, and it's not even framed as lighthearted kid show stuff. No, this is a fucking 3-act drama.
Yeah, it's an opera, basically.
Yeah, Nazis on Ice is the name of my producer's tribute musical.
it's Mel Brooks' skit Hitler on Ice.
And also, this is where we get my favorite Rainbow Randolph line of the entire movie, which I use open it after he saves Sheldon from Buggy, and the security are like,
You okay? I don't know. I'm kind of fucked up in general, so it's hard to gauge.
brother, that is a mood.
Mood as fuck.
Yeah, because Randolph catches wind of what Buggy Ding Dong is trying to do. So he runs to the ice skating rink where this is happening, and he gets hounded by people for autographs, even though 20 minutes ago they literally wanted him dead.
What is this, social media?
It should have been the end of Coco, when they're like, nah, forget you, basically. There are two memes that represent this movie. It's that, I fucking hate you and I hope you die, Randolph saying that to Sheldon while he's like, I like soy dogs and being smoochy. And
Okay, now
two
one of us
is,
has to make that.
Yes. And in the third act, it's basically Smoochy saying, are you tired of being nice? Do you ever want to go ape shit?
Yeah.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. There is something I want to mention too with the Ryanettes with this ice skating show. They're all wearing like these Jabberwockies masks, which are like really fucking nightmarish. Like, they're not Spectromagic nightmarish, but they're close enough.
Still somehow a scarier Jabberwock than the one in the 2010 Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And sadly, none of them are voiced by Christopher Lee.
This would have been 2002. He would have been too busy with Lord of the Rings by this point.
Oh, yeah, true.
Very true. Oh, so then I love that this is the scene where Sheldon finally just fucking snaps after everything he's been put through, and he just chases Burke.
Oh, by the way, Danny DeVito needed a stunt double for these running scenes, which I do not blame him at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially running through New York. Like, there's cars all over the road.
Oh, yeah. That's a hazard in and of itself.
This, of course, leads to the one of the most jarring lines in the movie, and that's Sheldon saying,
You just fucked with the wrong rhino, pal.
Sheldon, no!
in a movie full of people swearing left and right, Sheldon's one of the few that doesn't. So to hear him suddenly do that, it's funny because Edward Norton usually plays anti-heroes and villains, and meanwhile Sheldon is the nicest, warmest, kindest person. It's almost like he dipped into the Fight Club well for just a brief moment, and he's rightfully horrified when he snaps out of it.
The one time where Edward Norton acts like Edward Norton, it catches us off guard.
It's literally like in Guardians Volume 3 when Peter says fuck. Beautiful.
In all fairness, I feel like I'm not going to make friends with this take. Did this movie really need to pull the if you kill him, you'll be just as bad trope out of his ass?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they do have Tommy and them take care of it, so it's not like Burke and Jon Stewart's character would face no consequences.
Which is fair, but at the same time, we don't see what happens to them.
That just makes it better. I just love the ominous line of, so you boys ever travel together? It's like, my headcanon, she just had them chopped up, put each of the body parts in different packages, and then just sent them across the world, scattered to pieces.
Yes.
That would have been fucking perfect.
No, wait. Death to Smoochy? More like Smoochy to death.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Also, best use of higher and higher in a movie since Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, absolutely.
So it ends with everything going back to normal and Rainbow Randolph coming not only back into the public eye, but getting it on an ice show with Smoochy, which, putting aside the fact that Randolph does not deserve this, he deserves everything that he got in the beginning of this movie times 10.
Yeah.
Rainbow Randolph and Smoochy are both liabilities now. They have a fuck ton of baggage held to their names now. Are we sure it's a good idea to keep them going?
Yeah.
You were looking for someone free of controversy. Well, now you've got double the controversy.
Huzzah. Yeah, I'll say this. It's not a movie with heroes, but people you root for, basically. It's like Election 1999.
Yeah.
Everybody in this movie is flawed in their own ways. Randolph being the worst offender, obviously, but, you know.
Absolutely. And also, Nora becomes an ice skater, because why not?
Yeah.
Good for her.
You guys are bringing up all these examples. My biggest problem with the end credits is that the credits are in Comic Sans.
Oh, no!
Oh! All right, burn the tapes. We're done.
But we're joking. If we're going into final ratings, big ol' keep the tapes for me, warts and all. I fucking love this movie.
Oh, yeah, me too. Keep the tapes. And you know what? My Comic Sans hate is strictly satirical. I can't hate something so nostalgic and warm.
Very true.
The reason Comic Sans hate is such an ongoing joke is because it reminds you of schoolwork. That's it.
That's true.
I feel like since the Ryan Gosling skit, way more people hate Papyrus, so...
Despite all this movie's problems, which, no movie's going to be perfect. I'm always going to have issues with something. I have issues with The Mask. I have issues with Back to the Future. Yeah. I still love this movie for what it is, and the more I think about it, this may very well be one of my favorite movies of all time, quite frankly.
I don't blame you. This is damn good.
So absolutely keep the tapes. This is a brilliant fucking movie. Oh, man. Yeah. Bryant, what about you?
I'm with you there. I'm saying keep the tapes. I mean, nowhere near the best movie that DeVito has directed. But that being said, I do enjoy it more than something like Hoffa, which even though I think that's overall the better movie, this kind of appeals to me a little more. This really dark, mean-spirited satire of this television world. When you get down to it, it's not quite a masterpiece. It's kind of messy, but it's still a worthwhile dark comedy.
You know what it is? It's a masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece.
I think that my favorite DeVito movie will still always be Matilda, but this is definitely a very close second because I really need to watch War of the Roses as well.
Oh, you absolutely do. The funny thing is when I watched War of the Roses at the time, that's when that Always Sunny meme was going around of Frank Reynolds going, I get it. Because that was my reaction to watching that movie. But yeah, overall, I highly recommend watching through pretty much all of Danny DeVito's directorial work, except for just pretend Duplex didn't happen, and then you've got a perfect filmography as far as I'm concerned.
I'm tempted to just give fucking Duplex a rewatch just to see if it is that bad.
Your funeral.
Hey, maybe we'll get a KRT out of it. We'll see.
Oh boy!
Bring Agatha Violin on that one. She hates that movie.
Oh
yeah.
And once again, I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to our amazing audience, our amazing friends, all the people who have joined us, especially you today, Bryant, and our amazing editor, Jacob. So many amazing people over the years who have helped us make this podcast a reality, help us grow as podcasters, help us really find our voice and style. Thank you. Thank you for these amazing 5 years, and we'll see you in the next 100.
This has been a great 5 years, and quite frankly, I can't wait to keep this going. Oh, man.
Oh, me too.
5
more years. 5 more years.
Again, what turned into a small project just between the three of us during the pandemic has become literally this tight-knit family that, bounced off of just our love for obscure and nostalgic media and just, I love you guys.
We love the obscure. We love the not so obscure. We love you all.
Thank you.
I love you. I love you guys too, and I'm really honored that you brought me on for this milestone, even though I have never appeared on this show before.
Oh, dude, we had to have you on. I know you love Death to Smoochy, so it was only fair you come on.
Yes, yeah, I can see why too. This is a funny fucking movie.
Yes.
So, do you have anything you want to plug, Brian?
You can always find me on Blue Sky at Bryant Langmuir. I also do have a YouTube channel under the same name, Bryant Langmuir. I don't really have much content on there. I've got a few AMVs, like a couple Hell of a Boston Has-Been Hotel AMVs.
Oh, hell
yeah.
Last thing I ever made on there was a comic dub where I do the scene from Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, where I basically do my rendition of Mr. Mixius Pitlick's villainous speech. I do plan to do some more of that, because I'm trying to potentially expand myself as a voice actor potentially.
Ooh, yeah.
And I also do have an idea for a podcast of my own, but currently right now work is pretty busy. But whenever I do get the time for that, I'll definitely involve some of you guys in that if I can.
Oh, please!
Hell
yeah, we'd be honored.
Yeah.
All right, you can find me on the usual Mission Breakout Blue Sky. You can find me Mission Breakout on Discord and Muppet Vision _3D on Letterboxd. I have been slowly taking a break from social media, but when I get more active, I'd love to be able to talk more on my Letterboxd as well as get back into art. And we shall see where the future of this podcast goes. So you'll catch me here, obviously.
Yeah. You can find me Neon Tales on Blue Sky and Neon Tales on Twitch. Eventually, I will start streaming, hopefully sometime this weekend. I'm still, learning how to use the tools, but I will figure it out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And as for me, you can find me on the usual spots. Tyler FG on Blue Sky, Tyler FG96 on Instagram. All right, and as for the show, you can also find us on the usual spots. Channel KRT on Blue Sky, Channel KRT Podcast, all one word, on Instagram. You can find our Discord server and our Facebook group in the link tree in our Blue Sky bio. And if you want to help support us, we have two options. We have our Patreon, which has exclusive minisodes, outtakes, and episodes of this very podcast at its earliest convenience at $5 a pop. And our Ko-Fi, where you can find the aforementioned outtakes and minisodes for $5 a pop. And of course, thank you to our pals Paul Spicknall, Tony Goldmark, Ashley Hines, and Chris Reyna for pledging to us at the $10 level. And of course, thank you to our executive producer, Gomer.
Hell yeah.
And just in general, thank you to everybody who helped make this podcast what it was. We really couldn't have done it without you these past 5 years, really. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Here's to many more. Woo!
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Channel KRT, cut to static. We did it. 100 episodes, y'all.
100 episodes!
Let's go to Channel KRT's show where we'll look at obscure media of all sorts, and then we get murdered.
Yay!
Oh, what the fuck am I watching here? You little soap opera, you get jelly, I get jelly. Shut up!